What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look at the cost of living projections. We just got information from CPI, so the Consumer Price Index, so inflation. We have new numbers here. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about the impacts of the cost of living adjustment for 2026. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'm going to show you a clip from Bloomberg first, and then we'll take a look at the numbers. Here we go.
A rise in the CPI on a month-over-month basis, bang on with consensus up 0.2%. The core is up 0.3%. We'll check that out in terms of three digits. On a year-over-year basis, that takes us to 2.7% for headline and to 3.1% for the core on a year-over-year basis. That's more than thought. So this must have been a very high 0.3%. Trying to take a look at some of what we're seeing in terms of the actual changes in the categories. And we'll look here to see some of the ones that come up when we look at tariffs. The tariffs for, I'm looking for apparel up just 0.1%. So not a big deal there. But
Now, we really shouldn't be, okay, when it comes to tariffs, we're looking at, this information is from July. Okay, so tariffs didn't really kick in until August. Okay, that's when the beginning of August, that's when everything really started to kick in when it comes to tariffs. Now, we've had some tariffs prior to that, but what a lot of companies have done is they have ordered a lot of product. And so they still have product. So they don't have to buy overseas yet. But once the products run out, so give it a couple months, that's when we're really going to see the real impact of tariffs. And even next month, so when we're in September, when they give us the information for August, we'll probably see an uptick there. But closer to Christmas time, we're going to see even more. So this is just the beginning stages. So to talk about tariffs right now when it comes to inflation, it's a little premature in my opinion.
Used cars up 0.5%. New cars were up were flat basically on the month. So apparently auto companies absorbing some of the tariffs there. In terms of services, rent of primary residence up 0.3, owner's equivalent rent up 0.3 for the third month in a row. Medical care services up 0.8. Motor vehicle insurance only up 0.1. There was a thought that might be higher, but look at airline fares. After being down for 3 months in a row, they're up by 4% on the month. So that's one of the reasons that we are seeing that core rate go up.
Mike, you've had
Okay, now, and talk just a little bit about airfare. So airfare, yes, it's going to go up because we're in travel season. So because we're in travel season, more people are out there traveling, and so that is going to raise the price of airfare. So that is understandable.
a second look at the numbers. What do you see now?
Well, gasoline played a big role in holding down the overall number because it was down by 2.2%. It has been up a little bit, but the seasonal adjustment for this time of year takes some of that away. As I mentioned, food prices were flat on the month and used vehicles up 0.5%. So you get a little bit of the tariff impact, a little bit left out of it. And apparel prices up just 0.1% on the month. Still looking to get to the electronics portion of this, which we should see some increases as people buy more stuff from Asia. But I'll get back to you on that one in a second.
Okay, so one important thing that he talked about was food was flat. So that's good. The fact that food didn't rise any higher, but food prices right now are too high. So they need to start coming down even more. I think grocery prices dropped very, very slightly, but we need to see more of that. It needs to go down a lot more. But because tariffs are being implemented, that's going to impact produce and things like that. So we might see prices continue to rise when it comes to food. Right now it's flat, but we could see an increase in the coming months. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the charts here. So what they were talking about here when it comes to core inflation, I'll show you this here. So core inflation is right here, and this is inflation overall. So CPI overall, and this is the core CPI. Now, CPI overall was at 2.7%, and core CPI was at 3.1%. Now, remember, the Federal Reserve, they want core inflation to be around 2%. And so we still have a distance here before they start considering cutting interest rates. And we'll have to see what they do in September if they do cut interest rates. But right now we're at 3.1%, and they want it to be around 2% before they start cutting interest rates. And remember, this is a balancing act. So if you're cutting interest rates, you're doing that because you want to stimulate the economy. And if you stimulate the economy, then we could be in a situation where we see even more inflation. Okay, so that's the fear there, and that's the reason why the Federal Reserve has been very hesitant to cut interest rates. Even though President Trump is out there saying we need to cut interest rates, the Federal Reserve is saying that inflation is still too high. We want it down to around 2% before we cut interest rates. Okay, now let's get to the important part you guys want to know about the projection. So this is the Senior Citizens League. They put this out every month when it comes to the projections. Right now, for 2026, they are projecting it at 2.7%. And so we see a slight increase in their projections, and they're showing here. So in May, they were at 2.5%. In June, they were at 2.6%. And in July, they're at 2.7%. And remember, they're going to be using the CPIW, so the Consumer Price Index for wage earners and clerical staff. So in May, those numbers, it was 2.2%. In June, it was 2.6%. In July, it was 2.5%, so it's actually gone down just a little bit. And so we'll have to see what happens in August and September. So they're going to take those 3 months, July, August, and September, in order to calculate COLA for 2026. And so we'll have that information. I think it's around October 15th. They will announce what COLA will look like for 2026. And right now, it's at 2.7%. That's the projection. And if it stays around that number, for the average person receiving Social Security benefits, it's probably going to be around $50 to $60. Now, you also need to factor in Medicare Part B. It's going to take a portion of that, and they're saying it should be around $21 for Medicare, for the Medicare premium. And so for the average person receiving Social Security benefits, you could see around $60, but Medicare is going to take $20, and so you'll only really be looking at about $40 increase to your benefits. And so I just wanted to put this information out there. Just wanted to give you guys an idea of what's going on when it comes to inflation, and also what's going on when it comes to the cost of living adjustment. If you guys have any questions, make sure you let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.